Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we uncover the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our sharp-eyed viewers, Pixie_Biskel94. Thanks, Pixie. You asked, what is the national debt and to whom is it owed? If you've ever seen the US debt clock spinning like a slot machine and thought, who do we owe all that to? And can we just send it to voicemail? You're not alone. We're breaking down what the national debt is, where it comes from, and who's holding all those IOUs, minus the 3-hour economics lecture. So grab your metaphorical calculator. We're about to make trillions of dollars of debt somehow understandable, right here on Explaining Everything. Picture this. The United States national debt is like a giant credit card bill. Except instead of being a few $100, it's over $34 trillion. And unlike you, the US can't just switch to eating instant noodles until payday to fix it. But here's the twist. It's not the same as personal debt. Nobody's going to repossess the Statue of Liberty if we're late on payments. Hopefully. What is the national debt? Let's start simple. The national debt is the total amount of money the federal government owes to creditors. Think of it like this. Every time the government spends more money than it collects in taxes, called running a budget deficit, it has to borrow the difference. Do this year after year, and the IOUs pile up. That mountain of IOUs. That's the national debt. It's basically the government saying, we'll pay you back later, but later could mean decades from now. It's like when your friend borrows your phone charger and you just accept you'll never see it again. Why does the debt exist? Why borrow at all? Because governments, like that one friend who insists on picking up the tab at dinner, tend to spend a lot. Roads, schools, the military, social programs, healthcare, NASA's Mars rovers. It all costs money. If tax revenues aren't enough to cover the bill, they borrow the rest. Sometimes it's for emergencies like wars, recessions, or pandemics. Other times it's for long-term investments like infrastructure. And occasionally, let's be honest, it's for political reasons. Telling voters we'll lower taxes and increase spending sounds great until someone asks, how are we paying for that? Here's where it gets a little nerdy, but stick with me. The national debt is split into two main categories. Public debt, money the government owes to outside investors. That includes regular people who buy US savings bonds, big financial institutions, and foreign governments. This is like borrowing from your neighbors. Intragovernmental debt, money the government owes to itself. Yeah, you heard that right. Agencies like Social Security invest their surplus funds in special treasury securities. So technically, one arm of the government owes another. It's the bureaucratic version of moving money from your left pocket to your right pocket and then charging yourself interest. Now, the trillion-dollar question. To whom is this debt owed? Well, here's the breakdown. American individuals and institutions. A big chunk of the debt is held by US citizens, banks, pension funds, mutual funds, and state, local governments. So yes, technically you could own part of the national debt without realizing it. if you have a retirement account with Treasury bonds in it, you're one of Uncle Sam's lenders. The Federal Reserve, the Fed, buys Treasury securities to help manage the economy. Think of it like lending your roommate money so they can pay you back on time for rent. It's all kind of circular. Foreign governments, countries like Japan, China, and the UK, also hold large amounts of US debt. Why? Because US Treasury securities are considered super safe. If the US economy were a person, it's that reliable friend who always pays you back, even if they take their sweet time. US government agencies, like I said before, Social Security and other agencies park their surplus cash in treasuries. You might be thinking, so, $34 trillion in debt? That sounds awful. Should I be selling my belongings and hiding in a bunker? Well, not exactly. Debt isn't automatically bad. Most modern economies run on some level of debt. It's like coffee. Too much will wreck you, but the right amount keeps things running. The key issue isn't the size of the debt alone, but whether the economy is growing faster than the debt, and whether we can make the interest payments without breaking a sweat. If your paycheck goes up every year, that big car loan feels less scary. But if your paycheck stays the same while your loan grows, uh-oh. Here's the fun part. Technically, we don't have to pay off the entire debt all at once. The government just needs to keep paying the interest and rolling over old debt into new debt. It's kind of like refinancing your mortgage over and over, forever. The US has been in debt for almost all of its history, except for one brief moment in 1835 when President Andrew Jackson paid it all off. It lasted about a year before the country went, cool, let's borrow again. If the US ever defaulted, meaning it didn't pay its creditors, it would be economic chaos. Stock markets would panic, interest rates would skyrocket, and the dollar's reputation would tank. It would be the financial equivalent of tripping and pulling the entire tablecloth off a fancy dinner table. Only instead of spaghetti, it's the global economy hitting the floor. So there you have it. The national debt is the US government's running tab, owed partly to itself, partly to its citizens, and partly to foreign investors who think America is a pretty safe bet. It's not exactly like your personal debt, but it does involve a lot of borrowing, interest, and promises to pay later. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.